ARESxGOD here, and it's time to talk about Undead Unluck, or Victor, because this time he steals the show here. I didn't expect this to happen. I knew there's something more with Andy from the first few episodes when he had the shrapnel up there to control his memory, but there seems to be a bit more than just memory here with the appearance of Victor. And honestly, this episode, the hype was insane what we have throughout the entire thing. And also something very curious. It seems like this world, there's a bit more to it than just the rules and everything that we know so far. But anyway, let's get into it and talk about Victor. Now, at the start, what was great also, Shen. I have to give Shen a lot of credit for this episode, and I'm happy I was very close, or maybe right, even correct with his power, how it works with him. Started using his staff to beat on Spoil there. That was quite fun, but also showing how Spoil's aura works, just within around his body. When he extended his head, he went outside of his aura, so that's why he was able to talk to Fuko. But that stuff was like instantly, hey, is that stuff the Monkey King stuff? And yes, even Fuko mentioned Journey to the West. And like, okay, so they know about Journey to the West here. But that stuff also just bunk on Spoil. But what was fun, we finally got some reveals with Shen, with his power. Now, also even more interesting, and why I like Shen quite a lot, he seems to be like this battle maniac. Even from the first few episodes, and with his dream to become the greatest in all creation, I was correct, being related to fighting, we see how his power works here. If he has field of vision of the target, he forces the opposite action. He negates conscious thought. So that's how it works. You want to do something, he makes you do the opposite. When Spoil wanted to retreat, he was in fact charging forward. But he has a condition for his power. He must be fond of the target to like that target there. Now, the reason why he likes Spoil is because Spoil is strong. He likes strong opponents. So for him during fights is kind of an interesting power to have, so to say. The stronger you are, the more he's gonna like you, so the better his power is going to work. But I'm curious, how would his power work? He just doesn't like that person, or maybe can he make it I hate this person except one thing? Can that one thing activate his power? Maybe I'm overthinking things, but this seems to be like an interesting condition there, and he's grateful for Spoil being there. And I like his card when they showed Untruth, how he looked in the face. He had that evil grinning excited smirk. Shen was awesome this episode, battle maniac. But here they get an idea, thanks to Fook also, to reduce the moisture to stop Spoil, and Andy also. And also comedic line when Andy touched Fuko's belly. Hey, it was just out. You're a bit fat, kind of implying a bit. She got a bit flustered, saying food tastes too well. I love the comedy moments between them. Then the ground splits and Andy falls in here. Now, Spoil started getting some idea how to fight against Shen, using wind to block field of vision there. And this is where Fuko suggests to use the UFO of Union to send it into space, because there's no moisture there. Now, they could do that, but they do it in a different way. Now, Shen, he said it from a few episodes ago, he wanted to see Vic Thor. But remember, we're gonna get to Vic Thor or Victor there. Now, Andy agrees to it, but he has some conditions. We're gonna get to those conditions also. And I was like, hey, they're gonna use that UFO, or maybe the teleportation thing they're able to do to send them into space. But no, he actually uses the stuff to propel them straight into space. I'm like, okay, that's a very long staff. How far can it go? I know it's the Monkey King stuff, but I didn't expect it to be that far. Or is it the fact that space is not as far as we normally know it is? I'm curious how the rules are here. This is a very different world in a way, but yeah. And here we have Spoil instantly using the beam to hit Andy's head, disintegrating his head, but he regens instantly. And this is where we see the full-on transformation in kind of more grim looking in a way Andy with long hair, and this is in fact Victor. We're gonna get to that. And he just mops the space, not the floor, mops the space with Spoil, starts using division bullets, actually makes clones of himself. So how strong is this regen power actually, and how little do we know about Andy or Victor? And he starts chopping. He literally obliterated Spoil there, makes him into a gumball, sort of just takes the core that we saw at the start, how he got in town. So they even do the mission. They don't kill Spoil, they actually capture him here, you know, and just says, let's have some fun while in space. And with his hand holding Spoil, chops his own hand, goes down, and like, wait, did he just drop him randomly? No, he actually drops himself also along with that. Man, this guy can steal the show here, how he just comes in, obliterates one of the strongest opponents we have had so far in the series, and just jumps down back on the earth. There he crashes down with Spoil and starts regening here. It's gonna make sense a bit how he did that later on. You get the explanation, and they actually take the core, they teleported out, so they completed the mission basically. But now they have a bigger problem than Spoil with Victor here. Now the thing that I liked, of course, everything hyped so on, we have were the questions that Victor had for Shen. What year is it? What month is it? And he gets an answer, August 24, 2020. But when he asked what day is it, there was no answer. Even Shen was confused, everybody. So they don't have days here. So they have the concept of month, year, but not the concept of day. This is why I'm very intrigued into the power system and the world, to say the least. And he said, looks like they've got a half decent lineup here. Like, what is he referring to? So there's something more happening right now with this world that we don't know, except the rules, Apocalypse, the god. There's something I can place my finger on it. I don't know what, but there's something there. So after this we get full confirmation that it's not Andy like this. It seems there are two personalities in a way. So Andy takes the front majority of the time, and Victor is the one in the back. Or I feel, was it Andy first? Was it Victor first? I don't know. Probably Victor first, considering his reputation. But also, how does Shen know about him or all the others? I have so many questions after this episode. He instantly goes after Foucault, and he makes here finally the distinction. He is human, Victor, not Victor. As Victor, the one that wins from the name, and not Thor, from the god of thunder. So no H, just Victor, the winner. So that's why he was known as the god of victory. And the way he destroyed Shen, kicks him, breaks his arm, even through his abilities. Seems like abilities don't work against him. Shen tried to use his, didn't work, and probably more than fulfilled the condition to be fond of the target, because even before that he wanted to see Victor. He already liked Andy, and even more probably likes Victor right now, seeing his strength and the way how much power he has. He kind of breaks the limit on humans. Even us in real life, we actually have that limit. If you're to use your muscles at full capacity, you'd break everything in your body. But thanks to his regen, he's able to do that, and starts even piercing Shen, like he destroys him there, to say the least. But also Foucault touches him after that, but nothing happens. So can he negate abilities? There's something I'm missing. If it's shown in the anime, tell me. If it's not, we're gonna find out later why abilities don't work against him. Don't tell me. But yeah, he can definitely fight, to say the least. Now Foucault tries to reach out to Andy when Victor was trying to suppress Andy to kill her. This is not gonna work, I'm not gonna die with her, she's useless, and so on. She tried to reach out to Andy. there's a response there, but I don't know if Andy's gonna be able to suppress Victor again. Maybe if they weaken him through combat. But yeah, there's a signal there at least, so Andy's still in there. Now the two conditions that Andy had to let out Victor was protect the breath, referring to Fuko, and win, as in beat me. That's a tall order to say, dear. Now Shen does one last strike to send Victor in the air and calls all of the other members of the Union, which just makes Victor be even more excited when he sees all of them, and was actually giving them pointers. Hey, attack, don't go on the defensives, do this, and so on. They start using ricochet bullet against him, even gets cut in half. What was really interesting was that the doctor that experimented on Andy was the one that got some pointers. Hey, your regen slows down when you're burnt, which kind of makes sense. You cauterize the wound, you're not gonna get as much regen. But the way his power works, or Victor kind of probably takes full advantage of the regen power, and that's why it worked for him to be able to come down from space. He can choose where to regen, where to come back again. So if he cuts a part of himself, he can either regen that part or regen himself into that part. So that's what he did. He throws a finger and he regens out of the finger. I'm like, how powerful is this regen, dude? And then the cliffhanger happens. Of course, we're gonna have Victor versus Union next, and I hope we're gonna get to see more abilities. Wiz also from her, the number one in Union, all of the others. So next episode is definitely gonna be more hype, but after this, damn, the world gets more and more interesting, the characters, the power. I have so many questions in my head, and I don't know, maybe I probably missed some things here, but just watch Undead Unluck. Please watch Undead Unluck. It's such a fun series, and it feels like with each episode is getting more and more interesting, to say the least. The characters are fun, the world, and so on. And right now we have Victor kind of stealing the show. I was expecting them to have Andy, Fuko, Shen working together, kind of the typical thing. Hey, they're gonna be spoiled somehow, find a rule or a weakness into the rule, because even how it worked against Gina, how they used her power and how they beat her there, finding that weakness. But here it seems like they amped it up a bit with Victor showing up, and also the question with them not having the concept of days, concept of stars that we saw. And yeah, I feel like we're just scratching the surface right now with Undead Unluck, and I'm happy with it. One of the most fun serious battle series, so to say. But I'm really curious what you guys thought about the episode. Let me know in the comments below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, helps me quite a lot, and you guys get the latest videos on the series that I follow. So keep enjoying Undead Unluck. Make sure you check out the podcast, Because Anime. Bye bye.